Chances are you know the name Jack Trice.
Yeah, that's a name we've all heard, but do you know why Iowa State's home stadium bears his name? 93 years after his unexpected death playing for the Cyclones, the name Jack Trice continues to be a source of inspiration for just about everyone in Iowa. Elias Johnson reports.
Long before the first snap is ever taken, and well beyond the last game of every season, the name of one player reigns high above.
The Jack Trice story is one about a hero.
Biographer Steve Jones knows the story well of the first African-American football player in Iowa State history who broke through the color barrier in 1923, 24 years before Jackie Robinson did the same in professional baseball.
You got to put it in context with the times. 1923, racism was rampant. Jack Trice could not have played football just anywhere, but his high school coach came to Iowa State, became the head coach, brought some players along, including Jack Trice. Freshman didn't compete in his first year, but his second year, he immediately established himself as a star on the line.
The story of Trice has been a source of inspiration for many players who have tried to follow in his footsteps, like Carlos Blunt, who played for the Cyclones shortly after the stadium was officially renamed to honor the football hero in 1997, thanks to a major push by the student body.
When we got a chance to choose our numbers, I wanted to emulate, try to follow those footsteps to take take it to the next level. So I chose number 37 because Jack Trice wore number 37. He was animal husbandry was his degree, and ag biz was my degree. So there's a lot of correlations there.
Trice's legacy centers around the second game of his college career, a contest that took the Cyclones north against the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
As best as we can tell, Jack Trice was staying at a different hotel from his team. At about dinner time, they had a team meal at the hotel. One of the players came in late, and he sits down and he notices something's not right. And then he says, "Where's Jack?" Well, he learned that the hotel would not allow Jack in the dining room.
He wasn't a part of the team, even though he was the man on the team. He couldn't be a part of that. Today, that's a big part of any athlete's preparation, is being a part of that brotherhood. Jack Trice couldn't be a part of that brotherhood, yet he still had to go out and execute and perform.
The game itself proved as difficult as the Cyclones had prepared for, tied 7-7 at halftime, with Trice playing on the defensive line, and some accounts claiming he was repeatedly targeted by opposing players.
And then all of a sudden, one play in the third quarter up there changed everything for Iowa State. The ball went one way. Jack Trice came in there. As best as we could tell, he tried to do a roll block. That was an unsafe play and not even taught at that time. A roll block is you go in there, you roll yourself into the blockers go down, the other defenders make the tackle. What we think happened is that Jack Trice tried the roll block, but instead of ending up on his stomach, he ended up on his back, leaving his torso exposed. After a big pileup, players get up, and all of a sudden they realize, hey, Jack is still on the field.
His response to that was to get up and go back for his team. They had to make him, they had to take him off the field, make him stop playing. It wasn't about him, it was about the team.
Trice was sent to an area hospital where he was treated and released. 2 days later, on October 8th, 1923, he died from injuries received in the game. Prior to his funeral on the Iowa State campus, a note was discovered inside one of Trice's suit coats, written on hotel stationery the night before the game.
My thoughts just before the first real college game of my life. The honor of my race, family, and self is at stake. Everyone is expecting me to do big things. I will. My whole body and soul are to be thrown recklessly about the field tomorrow. Every time the ball is snapped, I will be trying to do more than my part. On all defensive plays, I must break through the opponent's line and stop the play in their territory. Beware of mass interference, fight low with your eyes open and towards the play. Watch out for cross bucks and reverse end runs. Be on your toes every minute if you expect the good. Jack.
When I first read a note, and the times we read it, before game, pre-game, or just doing practice, it spoke a lot to his integrity and character. Again, I go back to this was not about a football game for him. This was about a legacy that he knew that he was starting out on.
And that note has forever been one of the most enduring pieces of Iowa State history.
Encapsulated in time just outside the gates of the stadium named in his honor, the legacy of Jack Trice lives on.
Here we have the only major college football stadium in America named after an African American, and I think that's significant. Once again, we can't overemphasize how important it was that here was a man who dedicated himself in a time when he was not welcome to play at every university in America, and then died in the process. So I think it's very, very fitting that this stadium bears his name.
Jack Trice, his vision was paramount and surpassed anyone's vision today, let alone by that time. He was not thinking about the football game. He was thinking about Carlos Blunt. He was thinking about Hiawatha Rutland. He was thinking about Coach Mack. He was thinking about all the opportunities that laid ahead of him. He knew that what he was doing, he was, as he said, he was a pioneer in this field and what he was trying to accomplish. He wasn't doing it for himself.
That was Elias Johnson reporting. To this day, the question over whether Jack Trice was specifically targeted because of his race during the game is still debated. However, the influence he has had on college athletics is never in doubt.